This week's Piltch Point with Avram Piltch is proudly powered by PureVPN. If you're anywhere on the paranoid spectrum that I am, VPN is a great way to hide your browsing history, your browsing patterns from Google and Facebook and your ISP. PureVPN is a great option for that. For $2.91 a month right now, you can get a 2-year plan, and you can get all of the obfuscation and the ability to say where you are. So maybe you're out of the country on a business trip, you want to be able to watch your Hulu or your Netflix or your Amazon or whatever, you can still get that. And to get that deal, you can go to pilchpoint.live/purevpn. So we talked about it a little bit at the top of the show. Intel and their is it NUC? Is it NUC? What? How do you pronounce that platform?
It's the next unit of computing, is what it stands for. NUC.
Okay.
So I don't know. I tend to call it NUC because so as not to confuse it with the NUC, which was the Barnes and Noble tablet.
Yeah.
But
Disaster.
that was spelled NOOK.
Okay, so
it was cute in its day.
Yeah, but it didn't stand a chance. So we'll call it the NUC. What has Intel got going on this year?
So CES was an interesting show for companies getting into spaces that they haven't before, sort of. So iBuyPower is now in the ambient lighting business. They're going to be releasing lights for your room, sort of competing with the likes of Nanoleaf. And Intel and a bunch of its partners are now in the business of really trying to push tiny gaming desktops. Now, if you've probably heard of the NUC before, Intel's been making NUC computers, they're little tiny mini PCs, for, I don't know, probably around a decade now. But these have primarily been small bare bones systems that were sold under the Intel brand, and you'd buy them, and some people would get them and put you use them for things where they really needed a minimally sized desktop. Maybe if you ran an old-fashioned internet cafe, or I don't know, something like that, a kiosk, people would buy NUCs, and they'd pay a little more than they would normally pay for desktop, but hey, it's nice and small. But now Intel's doing something different and new with the NUC brand. So Intel has gotten a bunch of partners to sell their own NUCs using what it calls the Intel Compute Element. So do you remember the Intel Compute card?
Mm-hmm.
The idea that they would have this little card, a computer on a card, and then they would I guess appliances or something like that, like smart TVs would have them, and you could pop out the old card and pop in a new card for an upgrade. That thing died pretty quickly because we couldn't find anyone who'd actually used it. Well, this is sort of that idea mixed with gaming. And what it is the Intel NUC will come on a PCI card, basically, and it will pop into this little tiny daughterboard, and that will become a computer. And so a bunch of companies, including Razer and CyberPower, announced that they're selling full pre-built desktops with this NUC inside, and these new generation NUCs will work with a discrete graphics card. So you will have a second slot in the computer that you can use for a seriously powerful discrete GPU up to like an NVIDIA RTX 2080 Super card, or maybe even higher. And you'll have this in a tiny case, and there are companies that are going to sell them pre-built with everything in it, and then there are also going to be others that just sell the cases, and you'll buy the NUC, the cases with the power supply in them, and you'll buy the NUC from the compute unit from Intel, and then Intel is also selling it in their own case, and Adata is going to be selling it in basically Intel's case, but labeled as Adata and in an optional pink color. Um, but this is the first time that this product has worked with discrete graphics, so you know, they're actually trying to use it for gaming. I mean, they have had prior models that they said, "Oh, this could be used for gaming because it has our best integrated Iris level graphics." But I don't think too many people took Iris graphics seriously as like a real platform for gaming. Um, but Intel is trying to sort of build a little market segment of mini gaming desktops. Now, I'm very skeptical that this is going to go anywhere. I think the products are going to come out, so there's that. Uh, but I don't think they're going to sell very well, and I don't know how long they're going to continue refreshing because the initial Intel hasn't disclosed all the pricing yet, but the initial indications are you're going to be paying a lot more for lower level performance. So the thing I didn't say yet about the NUC is it uses a mobile processor. So it uses the same H series processors, the same 45-watt H series processors that you find in a laptop. And people who buy gaming laptops are used to having a little bit less performance, a little bit less CPU performance anyway, because they know that, hey, you can't stick a regular 95-watt CPU in these in these laptops, or the cool, it's just going to have to be huge to cool it, and it just isn't going to work. Uh, but if you're buying a desktop, why would you want laptop performance? And why would you want to pay hundreds of dollars more than you would pay for a desktop that's almost as small? So, for example, and we don't have a lot of the pricing, like you said, um, the CyberPower and it said that their version is going to have a Core i9 9980HK CPU, which is the highest level mobile CPU, a terabyte SSD, 16 gig of RAM, and an RTX 2080 Super card, and it's going to be $2,400. Um, I priced it out a similarly building your own desktop with a mini ITX case, so the smallest kind of case available, not that much bigger than the case CyberPower is using, would be about $1,900. So you're paying, and that is with a desktop processor that is significantly faster. So it's hard to justify like who these people are that are going to buy this. They want something really small, but they don't want it to be portable like a laptop. They want a desktop, but they're okay with settling for laptop grade performance. Uh, and another sort of selling point is, hey, you can upgrade it. You can pop uh, that compute unit card out and replace it later when Intel comes out with the next generation of them. I don't think people should be buying products based on, hey, I can upgrade the CPU. We've seen too far and too long where, the next model of something requires a different kind of motherboard. Although in this case, there's really no motherboard. There's a daughter board, and then the compute unit pops into it. But you're really, if that's what you're thinking about, you're really thinking a couple of years ahead. That, hey, I'm going to upgrade this in a couple of years, and I really want to keep my chassis because that's basically the whole computer right there is on that card. So, and also it uses laptop RAM too. So I'm really not sold on this concept. It seems like unless the prices turn out to be dramatically lower, and Intel announced their own bare bones prices for the NUC that they're going to sell, and it seems insane. A Core i5 NUC, which is the compute unit that's Core i5, but it comes in Intel's case, which is kind of ugly looking, and with a 500-watt power supply, is going to be $1,050. So a bare bones Core i5 system with a mobile Core i5 chip, you bring your own RAM, bring your own SSD, bring your own graphics card, is $1,050. You can get a laptop, a gaming laptop, for $750 with the same CPU inside that has a screen, a keyboard, the graphics card, the RAM, the storage, the whole thing for $750. But you're going to spend $1,050 and just get the CPU and an ugly case. Like, and the Core i9 version is $1,700 bare bones. So these things seem way overpriced for a niche of people who want to build a PC, but they don't want to have the flexibility to actually do much customizing, because all you can do is put a graphics card in, maybe one or two M2 SSDs, and some RAM. You can't really, it's a tiny chassis, you can't really customize. So they want something that, if you're a builder, it's like a 30-second build, which kind of defeats the purpose of building. If you want a small PC, you can get a slightly larger one that has a full desktop processor, and in all cases, you're probably spending less money. So I don't really see the point of this unless it turns out to be much cheaper, but I've been known to be wrong. But from where I'm sitting, it sounds like the next iteration of the compute card, which was gone before it could make any impact. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
Did you see any of the NUC PCs?
so I've been looking while you've been talking at both the specs on the Element, the version 8 and the version 9, as well as some of the announcements during CES. And the only place where I could see something like this, but not this, because of the mobile processor, would be maybe for me, for like the portable studio, but I need the ability for inputs and stuff that this would never support. So even for me, I can't see it, because I can't see gamers being interested in it. Again, because you're paying more than desktop prices for laptop hardware. I can't see
I
PC.
mean, although the graphics card, the one thing to be fair to them is it's a desktop graphics card, but there's not a lot of cooling in those cases,
Right.
so it's hard for me to believe that you're going to be able to push them very hard.
True. Yeah, I can't see builders being interested, despite the fact that the swap out thing sounds like that might be somebody they're trying to target. I don't know who their target demo is. Maybe we're all looking at this wrong.
Right. I mean,
I don't know who they think their target demo is. I'd love to ask. But
I mean, all I can say is, from the reporting about it, I've seen other tech publications really excited about the fact that they can build a PC in like 5 minutes. But I think that kind of defeats the point. Like, why do it? I mean, you build a PC because you want to customize, because you want to have things your way. If all you're doing is taking a standard unit and maybe adding storage and RAM to it, and then you're adding a video card, that's not a lot of customization. I mean, what people who really like to build PCs are all about is, well, some of them do it because they feel like they can do it a little cheaper. This is certainly not that. Um, but what building a PC is really all about is this pride of ownership. Like, I put my RGB lights in it, and I got exactly this thing I wanted and that thing I wanted. This isn't going to provide you with that kind of flexibility. So I it's certainly not PC builders. Gamers who want a really small gaming PC, I guess, but there are others on the market that are in mini ITX cases. There's some really tiny ones like Zotac makes. I mean, it's that use desktop CPUs. I I don't get it.
I don't either. I don't know who they think their customer is for this. Maybe they're going to come out and be like, hey, this is who our customer is. And we'll all go, I had never even considered them as an option. I don't know who that might be, but Intel seems to be in a weird place right now. And I feel I'm with you. I don't see where this product lives, and I think it is just a symptom of that weird place that Intel's in right now.
Yeah.
They seem to have forgotten who they are or something, and they're trying to be something else, but they don't know what that something else is.
I mean, I was impressed that they managed to get some actual companies to go along with this, like Razer.
Yeah, but, so did Steam.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if these end up being a moderate failure and like they end up cutting the prices dramatically, they might be an okay thing to own. But I can't imagine that at the prices that we're seeing, why somebody would want them.
Yeah, me neither. It's definitely crazy. But Steam got big companies on board with a bad idea too. So I will never forget receiving the press release from Dell that they had given up on SteamOS and were going to release the Steam machine with Windows 8. We've got them in stock. We're just going to go ahead and release them. Sorry, Steam, we're done. All right, that's pretty funny. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if they figure something out here, but I'm with you. I don't think they will. I imagine we're talking about it because you're working on something on it.
Yes, we're working on a story on it, which says pretty much this. I've talked to a couple analysts about what they think is coming with it. Nothing too surprising. I just think this was something that kind of a lot of people were talking about at the show, and we're still waiting to see it come out. But wow, it seems a lot like the compute card all over again.
Yes, it does. Well, I look forward to seeing the piece when it comes out. In particular, I always love reading what analysts have to say about some of the crazy stuff that we're subjected to. And this will be one of those things I look forward to seeing. So, and as always, I look forward to seeing what we talk about next week.